And then we get our posture where we have our spine that's 45 degrees. And then we have our body that is parallel to the target. I want you to check out this golf ball. And I want you to envision that this golf ball is the world and the line in the middle is the equator. And we're going to swing from hip to hip, moving that triangle. Teaching new golfers is one of my favorite things to do. They start off with a blank slate. They don't have any bad habits yet, and I can build them up from the ground fundamentally exactly how it's meant to be. If you're someone looking to get started into golf, or someone that's played golf for a while and just haven't figured it out yet, this video is for you today, because I'm going to walk you through step by step what you need to be practicing and how to get better when you go to the range. Let's get started. So I want you to keep this acronym in mind whenever you go practice. GPA. G is for grip, P is for posture, and A is for alignment or aim. So when we get our grip in the fingers, and then we get our posture where we have our spine that's 45 degrees, and then we have our body that is parallel to the target, club face at the target, body is now parallel to the target. Here's what happens next, and here's where people get this wrong, and I don't want you to get this wrong anymore, so stick with me, here we go. To me, a beginner golfer is someone who's played for 3 or less years. It takes time to get consistent, but what I always tell them, first things first, what is the goal when we're taking our golf swing? And to me, the goal is to hit the ball solid and get the ball in the air. Now, how do we do that? Well, I want you to check out this golf ball, and I want you to envision that this golf ball is the world and the line in the middle is the equator, right? We can kind of all see that picture there. Now, to get the ball in the air, we have to hit below the equator at the bottom part of the golf ball. And I want you to understand what we're doing. So when we're taking our golf swing, let's listen to this sound. And you can hear how the bottom of the golf club is getting to the ground. Well, the lingo that I use is it's like striking a match. Here's a matchbox. Here's a match. I'm trying to strike the match. And if I can strike that match, the golf ball is in the air. So now that you know that the golf ball is the world, the line in the middle is the equator, and we have to strike the match to get the ball into the air, here's exactly how I've learned to build a beginner from the ground up. So we're going to start with our feet together. We're going to keep the golf ball in the middle, and then we're going to make a perfect triangle with our arms, and the top of that triangle is our shoulders. So we've got our arms as a perfect triangle, and I want you to start by taking some practice swings and just moving that triangle from hip to hip. So we're going to go hip in the backswing, hip height in the backswing, hip height coming through. Now, what moves our triangle is our sternum, our torso. This would be the wrong way to do it. Just using arms only, and we're not using our big muscle. So we're going to use our sternum, our torso, to move that triangle. And I really like to give everyone this visual when I'm teaching them. Let's just pretend I had a 10 or 15 pound medicine ball, and I'm trying to throw that medicine ball down the range. Now, if I had that 10, 15 pound medicine ball and you asked me to throw it down the range, I'm going to take it all the way back and throw it all the way through. And I want you to notice that motion. I'm going to do it one more time. Medicine ball to the top, medicine ball coming through. We used our bigger muscles to do that, right? We don't want to use our smaller muscles, our hands or wrists to move the club. Those are important, but what's moving that club is our pivot and the way we're turning our body. So after you feel comfortable and in control of that club going from hip to hip, keeping the triangle together, I want you to go into set up to a golf ball. We're going to still keep our feet together. This feet together is a great drill in and of itself, but this is how we have to start, because if we can't hit a golf ball with our feet together, it's going to be a lot harder when we spread them shoulder width apart. So we're going to go feet together, triangle with our arms, and we're going to swing from hip to hip, moving that triangle. And I want you to take a few shots just to get that feel. Triangle back, triangle through. And if you do want to put a little bit more weight on that left side, you can do so for this shot, just to keep that weight centered and balanced. So that's step number one. That has to be what comes first, because then we're going to get into building a solid backswing that you can count on each and every time you swing the club, and that's coming up next. So the next piece of this, I want everybody to go ahead and grab a club with me, and what I want you to start to feel is this lever with our wrists that is called hinge, and we have to hinge the club in the backswing to create structure. So we started off feet together with the triangle. Now we're going to spread our feet shoulder width apart. Ball's going to be in the middle still. We have that perfect triangle with our arms. And as we take the club back, the club's going to stay pointed at the ball. And when the hands get about hip height, I want you to start to hinge that club using that leverage, that lever, and then we should make a perfect 90-degree angle or a letter L. Now, a really good checkpoint that I like to give my players when we're doing this is we want to keep this club on plane. Now, on plane being about 45 or 50 degrees right here. Now, when you get to that position, if there was a laser in the butt end of that club, I want it to point somewhere around the golf ball. It's going to be on the target line, but let's just envision it's going kind of at that golf ball there. So we've got our setup, we've got our triangle, we're taking the club away, and then we're going to start to feel that leverage, feel that hinge to get to that letter L while keeping that club on plane. So once you get this position, I want you to go ahead and swing through. And whenever we're coming through, I want you to notice where I finished. You can see my back right foot has released. Now all of my weight is forward. I could balance on that left foot if I needed to, but this is going to kind of hold up 5% of the weight in the back. Getting that backswing is crucial, but if you want to put things together and piece them together, we wouldn't want to see this nice L and then have our weight fall back, would we? Right? We don't see any pros finishing like that. So let's go ahead and get that letter L and get that weight shifted forward. That way I can stay balanced. My chest is at the target, my belt buckle's at the target, and now my knee is at the target. So here's another angle down the line just so you can see this clear. We have that triangle with the arms. As we take the club away, the club's going to stay pointed towards the ball. We don't need any of that face rotation, so the club's going to stay pointed towards the ball. And then when we get to that hinge, that letter L, that 90-degree angle, that shaft is going to be on plane, pointed towards that ball, down the target line. So let's get to that position again, and then make sure that we finish onto that front side. I feel completely balanced and in control. Now, what I like my players to do is go half speed at first. We don't have to swing as hard as we can. Let's get this down, swinging 3 or 4 out of 10 just to get that feel, get that control. And then when you set up to the golf ball, if you can do that 3 or 4 out of 10 speed with some control, then you can start to add some speed. We never really want to swing 10 out of 10. We always want to have control of that club face. So let's get used to it going slower first, and then we can add speed second. So let's run back through all those key points I gave you throughout this whole video. We're going to start with GPA, grip, posture, alignment. And then whenever we get set up to the ball, we're going to start feet together, triangle with the arms, striking that match, taking a half swing. That way we can get below the equator. And then we're going to start to build that backswing where we start to hinge the wrists, making that perfect 90-degree letter L with that club on plane. Now I know this might seem like it's a lot to take on, but I want you to start off slow. I want you to start off swinging half speed at first just to get that feel. And if you start to struggle, I want you to go back to that feet together. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, this alone is such a great drill to do, because doing this feet together drill, you have to keep your balance. If you start to go too fast, you'll lose that balance and fall over. So it keeps you swinging within yourself. So I hope you liked the video today. This is going to be the first video of a series that I'm starting for beginners and intermediate players. So make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any videos coming your way. And I can't wait to make you guys better. Take care, guys.